Welcome to a completely unnecessary podcast, number 301. The march towards 600 begins. I'm Pat Contra alongside Ian Ferguson.
Jesus H.
On the show today, we'll be talking about
Stuff.
we got NFT scams all around.
So many.
Did
I added something else.
I thought you added one, Ian.
I added something else.
You added a bonus.
Yeah.
We have a Patreon poll topic. We also will have good old voicemails. Ian, how was your weekend?
My weekend was it was pretty good. It's pretty good.
Good. Your life is good.
Did some extra napkin stuff. Had a lobster roll on Sunday. It was pretty tasty. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of it. All my plans kept getting shot to shit over the weekend. I was supposed to play D&D on Friday, and that didn't happen because the guy we play with threw out his back.
Oh.
Again. Oh, yeah. Me, D&D Dad, and John. All three of us have miserable backs. So at any given point, our back is throwing something off.
Damn.
So no D&D Friday. Saturday, what was I supposed to do Saturday? Whatever it was, it ended up not happening. And then Sunday, I recorded extra napkin stuff. And then yesterday, I was back to work. And I...
Work?
Yeah, it was back to work.
The nebulous work.
That was kind of it. Nothing real exciting. I got some new tea in the mail. I'm excited about new teas.
Tea club?
No, but they're trying to get me to join a tea club. They sent me a little sampler, and they're like, "You could join a tea club, and we'll send you this
your name got on a list
every month or week." Hey, no, my name got on a list because I ordered from the place, and now they're like, "Hey, give us more money."
I mean, that's what happened with me at the one. It happens with every single charity. That's like the one downside of when you actually give to an organization. They just send you more stuff, but like 8 other companies start sending you stuff. Like, oh, okay, he's going to send us money as well. It's like, all right, okay. It may work once in a while, but yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
They try to hook you more.
I mean, at least this gets me little free packets of tea. They're like, "Yeah, you want to join? This is what you can have." That came with, that's what you got with, we both got.
Real quick, not to cut off your tea story. Thanks to RetroBit for sending us Mega Man: The Wily Wars Collector's Edition.
It's a gorgeous set.
I think we covered this last year when they talked about the lead up. That this is one of the better ideas for a licensed re-release because this game is so hard to find because it was sold in such limited quantities in Europe.
Yeah, never released here.
Has a book, a real manual, a sticker book, a double-sided poster, reversible cartridge sleeve. I like how they're doing that the recent years. Reversible sleeves and a card packing.
And then this part right here, the front lenticular part.
Oh, okay.
There's
nice.
6 different ones behind it, so you can keep switching. You can change.
Come on, RetroBit. You went above and beyond on this.
Yeah, they really did. So yeah, thanks for sending us that. I'm excited to check the game out. I've played it before, but it'll be fun to actually pop a cartridge in and play it. And I've got to say again, I feel like they could do bang up business selling the cases that they use. If you haven't held the actual case, it's an actual Genesis case inside. Their Genesis cases are like...
You're saying they should just go out and sell them?
They're spot on. They're so good. I said that when they did the Toa Plan Shooter Collection. The replacement cases they're using feel identical to the original.
Weight,
yeah, they don't feel cheap. They're perfect.
Okay.
So, yeah, thanks, RetroBit.
Yeah, well, we got the limited run to the Sega CD ones. We're trying to capture all the old ones there. So I still haven't seen a good perfect NES sleeve.
No,
they've gotten close, but I still need
they're usually too thin.
I think I was talking to Josh one time about. I think they're getting closer to it.
That's what I noticed anyway. They're thin.
They're usually thinner.
Yeah,
like the Stephen King movie that creeps me out. You killed my daughter, and I curse you. Thinner.
Yes.
Rubs his hand on his face. Ooh, that movie's creepy.
Stephen King does creepy stuff. You know, it's not creepy. The Steam Deck is finally getting shipped on February 27th.
Okay, I'll allow that.
Yeah. Yeah, we needed to move on.
You skipped over Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, Pokemon Arceus impressions.
Come on, Ian.
Sorry. So the new Pokemon game is out.
Pokemon.
I did not buy it. It's not that it didn't look good. I just knew Vonnie was going to buy it, and I didn't want to have to. I didn't want to like compete for the TV with her. I just wanted her to enjoy the game. So she's been playing it, and I've been watching it. And Look, I'm just going to get this out of the way right away. Game doesn't look good. Game looks pretty bad. Like, it's not a great looking game.
In terms of the graphics.
In terms of the graphics. Stylistically, good style to it. I love the old time look to it. But there are points in the game where I'm looking like the water textures are very, very bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, certain aspects of it I'm looking at, I'm like, is this a GameCube game or is this a Switch game?
Wow.
That said, graphics have never been the determiner of whether a game is fun or not, and it seems like everyone's loving it. I think it looks like an incredibly fun game.
I don't have a horse in this race. I think the graphics look all right.
They're not bad.
They're kind of like if it's Pokemon Smash with the Breath of the Wild style.
Yeah, but if you put it next to Breath of the Wild, you can
it doesn't look as good.
Clearly see the difference.
Okay.
And my problem is not that I think graphics are required for a game to be fun. My problem is this is your fucking flagship franchise. Like, Pokemon is, I mean, it's one of your flagship franchises. Yes, you've got Mario, you've got Zelda, but Pokemon's massively popular. Put some fucking money into your graphics. Like, you've got the money. And you've got this game that, everyone's playing and enjoying, and I think looks fun as hell. Give it a little sass.
Well, this is Game Freak that was the dev on.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, Game Freak's always the dev. Give it some pizzazz. Yeah, they're allowed to have a budget to make nice graphics for a game that is going to sell millions of copies.
I wonder what that actual relationship is between them and Nintendo. Like, I wonder how much Nintendo could push them to do certain things. You know what I mean? Like, how much can they actually be like, okay, we need you to do this when Nintendo's a minority stake, they're a publisher.
Just going to say, if you're going to spend, a couple of years, pumping a game, put the effort in. That said, it looks great. The action stuff looks
great, but not literally looks great.
The game looks very fun.
The game looks fun.
The game looks fun.
It doesn't look great to Ian, but it looks fun. Okay.
And it's not like it's horribly ugly. It's just there are lots of spots where you're looking at it and you're like, there's no polish to this whatsoever. Like, when you step from the floor to the inside of your bedroom, your shoes come off, and the ankle bones start flopping everywhere. It gets really fucking weird. Creepy ankle bones.
So as people know, this is like open world, right?
It's more open.
Action RPG-ish.
Action RPG-ish. You can throw out your Pokemon and fight turn-based, but you also have to do real-time dodging if the Pokemon are chasing after you. You can catch Pokemon in real time, so if you're just trying to get a bunch for research reasons, you can sneak up on them and throw the balls in real time.
So this is more a game I would play. I like action RPGs. I like stuff that is more engaging with combat and things like that.
It looks like a fun mix between action RPG, trappings, and also still some turn-based battling.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. Weird ankle movement aside.
Yeah,
it sounds intriguing.
I'm enjoying watching Bonnie play it.
This is the one people are pissed they didn't put every single Pokemon in.
No, that was Sword and Shield.
Okay.
This is obviously not going to have every Pokemon in it. It's just one region and it's like a standalone story.
There are total. Look at the Wikipedia. There are total 268 Pokemon species. That's a lot.
You're just trying to catch all the Pokemon that are in that region. It's not like a worldwide thing.
Gotcha.
Because there are over 800 Pokemon in total.
Critical reception has been pretty good. GameSpot 8 out of 10, IGN 7 out of 10. Not enough water or too much water. Game Informer, they're still around. Game Informer is 8.75, so it's getting pretty good reviews.
Well, the thing that I've noticed is people got it on Friday and started talking crap about graphics and stuff, but as time goes on, by yesterday, everyone's talking about how much fun they're having with the game.
Then that's fine. That's what gameplay is king. Graphics is a nice veneer. It literally is a veneer, but if it would you rather have it look good and then play like shit? No, you want to.
No, what I'm saying is a Pokemon title has reached that point in its existence where it can both play great and look great. There's no reason for it not to have both.
Well, it's also, I'm looking at this. This is the first time they're doing this genre. This the action RPG.
Yes,
thing.
It's a spin-off, and I guess that's what I've been thinking, and I haven't said. It's a spin-off, and it looks like they got the spin-off graphics team.
So again, I don't know, this is Game Freak, so I don't know. You're saying Nintendo should have strong-armed them. It's just not up to Nintendo's.
Nintendo has more to do with it than I think you would think. I mean, they've definitely got some ownership in there.
They are a minority. They don't run the Pokemon company.
No, they don't, but they have a stake in it.
Pokemon company could say, technically, screw you, Nintendo, we're going to go somewhere else.
Game Freak could. Nintendo has a stake in the Pokemon company.
But it's a minority stake.
Okay.
That's the whole point. So obviously they're going to work together, but like they don't run Pokemon.
Well, no, I know that. I'm well aware.
They're
of that.
along for the ride. They are the game partner.
I'm just saying it's not like they don't have any power.
No. Yes, they absolutely do. But at the end of the day, they don't control it.
Yes.
You know, publishers can only push a dev to do so much. You know, that's it. Unless they're financing 100% of it. But again, like Pokemon companies do. Pokemon companies doing well. I don't know what they're worth, but it's not a small amount.
Again, again, they have the money to make it look like a AAA release.
Pokemon Company made 18.63 billion yen net in 2020. Nintendo owns 32% of the company. I always knew it was around 30%, something like that. So that's okay. And then a company called Creatures is another owner. I'm not familiar. The video game dev company affiliated with the Pokemon Company. Okay.
Yeah, I think Creatures is just kind of. I think that's a clever shuffling of personnel to make like a side. I think
it's like a legacy thing.
I think that's related to Game Freak as well.
Okay, we'll try. I didn't have heard that before with Creatures. Okay, well I'm glad you're having fun with it, Ian.
I'm not. Bonnie is. I'm not playing, and that was the whole thing I was saying. I'm enjoying how it looks.
I mean, you're watching it.
Yes, I'm watching it.
Okay. Steam Deck.
Yeah, getting announced, released, shipped out.
In the shortest month of the year, we make it in there. Are we 29 or 28 days this year?
I think we're 28 this year. I don't think it's a leap year.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Why does February get shortchanged? They couldn't make it a 29, 30 day. Like, why couldn't they just pick a couple of days from a couple other months?
Next leap year is 2024.
Unless we had it 2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was somewhat recent.
Well, okay. Well, pre the 28th, the 27th, Steam Deck is launching on the 25th. Oh, I thought it was the 27th. 25th, it's launching.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, on 25th, they'll be sending out the first batch of order emails.
Okay, the order emails.
Customers will have 3 days to make their purchase before the reservation is released to the next person in the queue. So, yeah, the 25th, 27th, 28th, technically, is probably when they start shipping.
The money hasn't been put in for these yet. Oh.
They only took 5.
That's right.
So what they're going to do
That's right.
Which is kind of nice that, they're not, like, just going to take the money out of people's accounts without, like,
$100 for 2 years. Yeah.
Well, and giving them a warning instead of just like taking it and shipping it. Here you go. Like people are going to get a chance to be like,
I forgot it was only $5. I didn't put it in for it. I was so close. I'm like, no, I don't think I'm going to need this.
I canceled mine. If I hadn't upgraded and gotten this laptop, I would still be getting my Steam Deck. But there's just no need for me to have it when I have this. This is portable enough.
If I'm going to sit on my couch,
stronger than the Steam Deck.
If I'm going to sit on my couch and play a game, I'll just play the Switch. That's what I decided. If I want to play a high end game, I'll go to the PC.
That was another thing for me. It's like between the play date, will hopefully be getting announced as shipping soon here. The Analog Pocket, which I have, the Switch. How much handheld do you? I have all the. That's what I don't need everything to be handheld.
Well, apparently you do. Some people do.
I've got plenty that I can play. Yeah. No, and like I said, I think it's cool. But if I hadn't just upgraded my computer, like literally after upgrading this, I have no need.
I would love to see the crossover of how many people that are getting this also have a Switch. I would love to see what the crossover appeal, if it means more people are appealing because it's also handheld, or it's just.
I've got some friends who have told me straight up that they're getting it, and like I've had 2 people tell me they're getting it and they're probably going to sell their Switch.
Wow.
Because they don't play the Nintendo first party stuff. They like the portability of the Switch and the docking, but they don't need it. They don't need the Nintendo stuff. So I think there is like something to be said about. There's probably crossover, but there are probably people who were waiting to be like, should I get a Switch, who have now chosen to get this. Mm-hmm. So,
okay.
Yeah. So we've got this has come out despite problems. The Playdate should be shipping shortly.
Yeah, they showed them. They were spot checking. I think the last update that was a few weeks ago.
We know they're made. It's just a matter.
They were spot checking the new batch of the new batteries, making sure they were working. They were like going through some. So they have them.
Evercade Verse has been fine. Nintendo got the OLED Switch out,
and now you can find a Switch anywhere. I think at this point.
So
we're waiting on one. We're
waiting on one.
Waiting on one.
Yep.
Real quick, a study. We talk about these studies once in a while. Right? Violent video games. This is from SciPost.org. SciPost. Your source for psychology information, I guess. So this is a study conducted. People who frequently play violent video games like Call of Duty show neural desensitization to painful images, according to a study. The study was published in the journal Psychology of Popular Media. Provides evidence that violent video games can lead to a desensitization to painful images, suggesting a reduced empathy for pain. Habitual players of violent video games showed a decreased neural response to painful images compared to non-habitual players. Non-habitual players showed a similar effect after playing a violent video game for 40 minutes. It's interesting. It's something we've talked about before. It's where, yeah, it's probably a desensitization thing. It doesn't mean you're going to go out and kill someone. But yes, obviously, the more you are exposed to some imagery, it's going to mean less to you. There was a point in time where Doom was super shocking. Right. I was like, wow, this is violent. Like, we have to have hearings over this stuff. So, of course, it's a natural thing. We take it for granted. Like, if you don't see this stuff the first time you see it, it is shocking. So that's I'm not surprised by that.
No, like neither am I. But my problem is that, you know, for so long, people have kind of made the false connection that desensitization is going to lead to violence. Sure. No, they're two different things. Yes, I can be desensitized to violence and still not have any increased desire to go and enact violence.
This was the methodology. It was a sample of 56 male university students. They opted for only male students to control for gender effects. The students completed an online survey before arriving at the lab, where they were equipped with EEG recording equipment. The subjects first completed a pain judgment test, where they judged the painfulness of a variety of images of hands in either painful or non-painful situations. What, like a vice grip around one? For example, one painful image showed a hand being slammed between a door. Okay. After completing the test, the participants played a violent video game for 40 minutes. The game was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Following the gameplay, participants completed the pain judgment task for a second time. According to the question and responses, participants spent an average of 6.38 hours per week playing violent video games. To compare those who play violent video games the most with those who played the least, the researchers divided into two subgroups. 14 participants played more than 8.75 hours per week. So, okay, getting into the weeds here, but this is how you do these studies. You have a control group, you have the main group, and you divide up by their predisposed behaviors. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how shocked I was. What was the first shockingly to me a violent video game? What if it was Wolfenstein, where it's like, oh my god, there's blood. Obviously, Mortal Kombat was shocking.
The first time I saw the head rip in Mortal Kombat, I think,
because that was like, okay, Street Fighter 2, okay, you're punching or final, but seeing like plus it was a human. It was an actual human.
Right. I think I don't know what the timing is there, but like I had seen violence in video games before that. You know,
sure,
but yeah, I think that's right. It was the human. It was the spine. It was the fact that it wasn't a monster.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't a demon or something like that. It wasn't Doom.
It was an actual person,
right?
An actor, and I was like, wow, okay. Well, that was it. The spine rip. It was Sub-Zero's.
Yeah, Sub-Zero's. His.
I always
the most famous fatality, I think.
Yeah, probably, and it has nothing to do with his powers. They changed that into the after that. At least that was the only Super Nintendo remake of the fatality that actually made sense. Was freeze him
and then shattering him. Yeah,
which they kind of did in the sequels, but like that.
They did. Yeah, that finisher actually got a more bloody version in later releases.
Like 2 and 3, probably something like that. But like Johnny Cage's made no sense. Not thinking about it, just hitting the head off. Just like, yeah, okay. And then Liu Kang did the spinning kick and then an uppercut. Which,
well, I think the Mortal Kombat, the Sub-Zero 1, 2 was like, it was just the fact that there was still a lot of like Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, especially by 3, it kind of got a little bit more cartoony again. But there was still a lot of cartoony fatalities in the first one, like Sonya's kiss. And
which made no sense, but they had the fire animation for Sub-Zero. They just reused it.
You mean from Scorpion?
I mean, for Scorpion, yeah.
And the dragon, and then like but then you've got like the spine rip and the heart rip, and I think they felt a little different.
They felt a little more real.
Yeah, they felt a little different.
Kano was like, what, a drug dealer? Why is he ripping hearts out? Like in like Temple of Doom. None of the fatalities made sense now I think about it. Only like 2 out of like the 7 did, or so.
You mean they didn't like play into the character's theme well enough for you? Sure, yeah, I can see.
They didn't, Ian.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know how you'd make Johnny Cage like a Hollywood star, like what his fatality should be, but punching off the guy's head doesn't make any sense. Maybe it should been more with the groin.
His daughter's one of his daughter's fatalities is fucking great. Well, actually, both of hers are great in 11. There's the one where she knocks your jaw off and then takes a selfie with you to play into the Hollywood thing.
Okay, that's funny.
And then there's one where she runs up and kicks you in the nuts so hard that your skeleton leaps out of your body. And your skin just crumbles to the ground. Kicks your skeleton right out of your body.
You know it's not a nut punch, Ian?
Oh.
UltimateNintendo.com.
UltimateNintendo.com is not a nut
It's more
punch.
of like a caress.
Yeah.
At UltimateNintendo.com, you'll get you find NES guidebooks, Super Nintendo guidebooks, RBI baseball stickers, the Pat Ian enamel pin. We're down to the last mini bag of them. The Big Pat Pixel pin and other goodies there. We still have some shirts left, limited t-shirts.
Big Pat Pixel.
Limited t-shirt. I think we're down to medium and small. We might have like a 1XL left, but I'm not positive on that. And I'll be on Twitch, twitch.tv/Country Code every Wednesday. Ian will pop in 8 weeks from now at the 100th.
Maybe.
And then I'm prepping it. And then I'm on Cameo, cameo.com/PatCountry. Gimmick turned 30.
Yeah.
On the 31st. Came out in Japan, the Famicom. Cute little toy Gimmick.
Yep.
Great game. I'm glad that it's gotten some love the past few years.
Just got an updated arcade version, so hopefully that means people are thinking about it again.
But I Am 8-Bit the past couple of years. They did the licensed T-shirt, the licensed soundtrack.
I was going to say they did the soundtrack.
I played with them at the booth. This is how Pat works. I'm like, come on, guys, you got to do a plush. I said, I'll buy a plush. If you had a plush right here, I buy the plush. You know, it's literally a toy character. You got to make a plush of it. It makes sense. So... yeah, I'm glad that it's been rediscovered. I had a very small hand in that. I did my NES Punk video over 10 years ago. Wow, it came out October 2011 of Mr. Gimmick. They put Mr. on it for some reason for the NES game.
Right.
There. Good old Mr. Gimmick. It's a beautiful game by Sunsoft. Marvelous soundtrack. Arguably, you could make a case it's the best NES. Like you can make a case it's a top 5 NES soundtrack. It's amazing.
It's very good. It's technically very good too.
Yeah, even without the extra sound channel, it's amazing.
Yeah.
The soundtrack,
oh, absolutely.
The extra Famicom sound, and then it's incredibly difficult. It's a really difficult game to get the proper ending. Even just getting the regular ending, it's incredibly difficult. I had not seen a Nintendo game that had that level of AI for enemies.
It's smart. It's a smart game.
The enemies actually react to you. It's not just all patterns. That to me was something to me. Like there's something going on here at the team that they did, and plus the little touches. You know, the little touches. I always talked about. Sometimes we ended the marathon going to stage 2 and looking at the little seagulls, and you hear them in the distance, just going, and there's no reason for that little shot to be in the game. There's not really NES games that you just sit back. Okay, this is a cute little shot. Just relax and hang out. There's no enemies trying to kill you. You're enjoying the seaside. You know,
it's got the wave sounds too, right?
I believe.
Yeah.
And then there's all the hidden items in the game in each stage that you have to get in order to get the good ending, which I'm usually good in the first 3 but then there's like the last 1 or 2 are like incredibly difficult to get.
You've done it though, haven't you?
No.
No? Oh, I thought you did.
I never got.
I thought you did it for the review.
No, I didn't. I could never get one of the two because I played it on real hardware.
Yeah.
I played it on the Retro USB prototype repro. It didn't come out here. I never got the 4th or 5th item. I couldn't get. Using an emulator, I could, but not.
Oh, okay. Never in real life.
On hardware, I haven't. I mean, I don't know. I've gotten a little bit better as I gotten older on some of this twitchy stuff for some reason. Maybe I could get it, but yeah. If you want the official stuff, go to I Am 8-Bit. Trying to find if they added anything more on top of that. But no, I would love to see a licensed re-release on cart. I think that'd be a great idea.
Yep.
Obviously, because the Scandinavian one now goes for, without looking at eBay, I think the cart alone goes for several $100s.
Jesus.
If not 1,000. Like that's one of the handful of European ones I have complete. Because I figured that's the one I want.
Yeah.
Box is a little beat up, but here's the cute little Gimmick.
Here's to him.
You watch any football the past weekend, Ian?
No, I didn't.
Rams versus Bengals. That's the matchup I wanted.
People seem to think it's an unexciting Super Bowl, but I think it's more exciting than recent years.
Why would it be unexciting?
I don't know.
Burrows has been great. I think it's. I like the Rams coach. He's smart, young guy. He's not even 40, I think. And then Stafford has a chance to prove himself because he was with the shitty Lions for 10 years, getting killed. And people are always like, hey, he's a good quarterback. He's just on a shitty team. Just like how Marino was. And this is your chance where you're on a decent team.
Go Bengals.
You want the Kitty Cats to win?
Yeah, I can't root for
They never won, I don't think. So
I don't think so. Can't root for LA sports teams.
LA won about 20 years ago with Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
A little over 20 years ago.
Can't do it.
You can't root for LA? None?
No.
Not even Clippers, who used to be San Diego? No?
No.
Obviously not the Lakers. We're never going to root for the Lakers.
Now, California sports teams are tough for me in general, but LA sports teams, Jesus H. Christ.
It's a version of the... A lot of like the Lakers to me is like the version of the Yankees, how the fans are.
Yes, I grew up in Buffalo and had to deal with fucking asshole fucking Yankees fans, and now I live in I live in San Diego and I have to deal with fucking asshole Lakers.
And also
fans.
Dodgers fans are like that too. Dodgers
yes, now they are, especially because the Dodgers have gotten better. But now they've gotten really.
But listen to radio the past year, 2 years here, like people expected the Dodgers to just waltz into the World Series and win it. I'm like, that's what people how they talk about the Yankees every year. Like when the fan base is expecting to always win. I don't like the fan base. That's why people don't like Dallas Cowboys fan base. They're like, oh, we're going to be great all the time. And it's like, no.
Cowboys haven't been good in a while.
Well, no, they haven't been. That's the one thing funny about Stephen A. Smith always trolling their fan base every year and laughing when they lose. That was a bad loss this year in the playoffs. Boy, Dak Prescott, that was a bad.
Did they lose to?
They were not expecting to lose. Now
I don't pay attention to the Cowboys. I
forget
know that they haven't been good.
But it was bad. It was a bad ending. That seemed like these Cowboys ending these playoff games is always a bad ending. As a Giants fan, I love it though.
Sure.
We bring up football because obviously John Madden passed away about a month ago. Right afterwards, I got in the mail the video games signature auction for the end of the month with John Madden football front and center.
Corpse is still warm.
Coming up for auction. And this always happens. Obviously,
it does.
It's obviously Craven. Whatever. Heritage has to make money. It's not a shock. They've had some questionable business decisions the past few years. We'll just say that. But this auction went off. Our pal Steve Lynn texted me the result as it was happening here. And this is the 1990, the first Genesis release, cardboard box John Madden football before it was numbered. It wasn't numbered for the first about three years of it. And it went for over $400,000.
Jesus Christ.
Over
$400,000. Why?
For common ass John Madden football on the Sega Genesis.
Oh, that's so bad. $400,000. It's not rare. This exists somewhere else out there.
Well, the people will say, well, what about a sealed cardboard one? It's like, I'm getting to the point where I don't care.
What? A sealed cardboard one? I don't care.
I'm getting to the point where I don't care. It's a common ass game.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that point where I'm done trying to. Yeah, $480 with the buyer's premium. So that means it was bid up to Pat Math $400,000.
Jesus Christ.
$500,000 someone paid for a 9.2 sealed John Madden football. Of course, the first thing any reasonable person would say, that was not the first iteration of the game. Why would it go for that amount of money? And the answer is because people think it could be worth money. It doesn't make any sense. Madden first came out on the Apple II in like 88.
And the thing we forget about people who do this is these are people who we think this is a lot of money. They have even more because that's an amount of money they can risk on something not being worth money in the future, which it probably will not be. I would be surprised if a sealed Madden ever sold for anywhere near that close ever again.
Yeah. As Foldable Human said on the NFT video last week about like what's actually going on with the NFTs, it's like the 1%'s fighting the 5%ers for like dominance, and like the 5%ers want to become the 1% basically. That's what this is. These are, let's say, the 5%ers. These are the 5%ers that have, they're not like billionaires or worth hundreds of millions, but they had enough money to risk on this shit in order to move themselves up the ladder, basically. And that was a great quote he said about the 5% versus 1%. That's a good way to crystallize it. The 5%ers can risk this sort of money. They'll be fine if they lose $500,000 on a Madden. They'll be fine if they lose 1.5 million on a fucking Mario 64 sealed, or 2 million on the not even the first release of Super Mario Brothers, like it's like the fucking third or fourth or fifth release, whatever it was. Like they can take these insane risks because if one pays off, there you go, the one paid off. But they're risking it. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts. And obviously, this would not have gone for nearly as much if Madden didn't die. Obviously, that's another reason why it's bullshit. Mm-hmm. It would not have. They held it off.
No, you're definitely dealing with post passing away hype, which is a thing that affects all sorts of collectible markets.
And then, so they all went. All these Maddens went off in the past few months. Looking at these, I just searched for Madden. So the one that's actually hard to find. The championship edition of Madden, that's like 92. It's in a gold box. I own it. That seal went for 50 grand last April. That to me is still nuts, but at least that's a harder to find. It's not extremely rare, but it's rare. It probably doesn't come into Luna that often. The championship one, probably not too often. Once every couple of years, maybe. You think?
Sure, yeah,
something like that. But then the other one that I always like when I see stuff I own come up that's actually sealed. The John Madden Duo CD version, the Turbo Duo one, went for $2,000. I got it. It's behind Ian somewhere, sealed. I bought mine for like $40-50 about 6 years ago, probably something like that.
Yeah, I remember you just needed to add it to the collection.
I couldn't find one that wasn't sealed. They're only sealed. Those are ones like that are so late. The TTI ones, 93. You can only find them sealed, some of those, because they never released anywhere. And there's all new old stock. And then that person that just spent that $2,000 on that one, probably a week or two before could have got it for like a couple $100 on eBay, sealed. That's the thing. Like we're talking, it doesn't. None of it makes sense. We know it doesn't make sense. These are not real game collectors, but I just think that's something I had to point out.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
$500,000. It's not even the first version of the game. It's like the third version. I believe there was 2 on the computer before the Genesis one, 2 or 3. I don't know, at least 2. And it's just wacky. It's almost like I don't want to talk about it anymore because I don't want to almost like give it more air.
More weight, yeah.
Yeah, than what it is because obviously all the news outlets did a terrible job not looking into it to begin with and gave it too much without asking it. But yeah, that's what it is. The 5%ers. There he goes. The new thing. I think I'm a 12%er, Ian. I'm a 13%er.
Yeah, you're a 13%er.
Okay. I'm a 14%. Sony buying Bungie cores? No, they're buying Bungie.
So this is what video games has turned into.
They're arms races.
I fucking hate it. It's just going to be Sony and Microsoft buying shit up until the end of time.
Until the end of time.
And it's not good. I don't have a whole lot different to say about this than I did about Bethesda or I did Activision Blizzard. Eventually you have to grow up and realize that this isn't fucking sports and that this will have an impact.
This isn't the Yankees buying all the free agents.
Right.
Every year.
To
win the Super Bowl. Super Bowl? World Series.
Concentrating lots of stuff underneath one banner is never a good idea. And the fact that it's just getting more and more concentrated between 2 companies it's not good.
Stifles creativity.
Yep.
That's the big thing. It's less risk taking.
People always that's the thing. People always try to argue, and I still see this argument being made. Well, now maybe we'll get a sequel to blah blah blah. That's never how it works. When a company is bought, you don't see the return of these old projects that you love now because they have more money. You see a very cold and calculated streamlining of them only putting out what makes them money because that's what attracted the other business to buying them in the first place.
Yes, the ones that make money is what attracts them.
You're not going to see a new era of creative freedom from any of these fucking businesses that get bought up. That's just not how it works.
Yeah, there's more bureaucracy, there's more bean counting, there's more levels of bureaucracy where it's like, oh, we want to go with the surefire hit. It goes back to the Hollywood system where now everything's either really tiny or super big. There's nothing in the middle anymore.
And that's what we're getting with video games. It's all small couple hour long indie game type stuff, or it's AAA titles of which I feel like we get 5 a year now, maybe.
5 a year per console. That's what you get.
Right.
This is a deal for $3.6 billion, slightly smaller than the deal for Activision, which was what, 80 billion, whatever it was, 70 billion. It was tens of billions.
Yeah, it was 70 billion. 76 billion.
Because Sony couldn't afford that. That would hurt them a lot more than Microsoft. Microsoft's worth a lot more than Sony. So Bungie was the original Halo dev, which is funny because people are saying, oh, the original Halo dev.
Right.
It was Microsoft and then Destiny. Those are the Destiny franchises. I guess is what they That's probably one of the bigger ones here. And then what else would they?
Destiny has been it.
That's it.
They're basically buying this for Destiny, as far as I can tell, or whatever they're going to do, or Sony knows what they're working on for the future and they see money in it. But I think that's why Sony bought them. They want to have some sort of, exclusive, or at least have a stake in, whatever the next big game as a service is.
From April of last year, they're launching a new game IP in 2025. They're planning something for 3 years from now. Okay. So that's going to be their next big thing.
Cool. We'll see that in 3
Remember,
years.
Destiny is games as a service.
Yes.
That's a big thing. So that's like a continual moneymaker. You don't just buy it once. You buy the season passes, whatever.
Yeah, and you buy the updates as everything goes on. I think that's what Sony wants. They want to have their hand in a scene games as a successful games as service provider.
Yeah.
Destiny 2, I know a lot of people who play it, and all they seem to do is complain about Destiny, but it makes money. I mean, people play that game. It's a success.
They've had two, when the first one come out? 2012, 14, the first one?
2011 or 12.
It was around there. And then so they had a second one come out like 5 years ago, whatever it's been.
Maybe 2013. It came out around the time the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One came out.
Destiny 2 was, wow, I was almost right. It was 4.5 years ago. September 2017 was the sequel.
It was Destiny 2.
So
okay.
if they're every 5 years or so, you might get another one, I guess, in the next year or two. I don't know. I tried watching people stream Destiny 2 when it first came out. I was kind of fascinated by the concept of having a game like that. Sort of like a RPG first-person shooter thing was kind of appealing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was watching, I didn't get it. I was like, okay. You're like, killing off hordes of enemies here and there, and I was like, I kind of understood and kind of did it, but I was intrigued at first, I was intrigued, but I'm definitely not intrigued by this buying seasons constantly to keep going. I don't like that stuff, but I understand they're adding more content.
I mean, I
get it, but
I don't. It depends on how you do it. I honestly don't mind being expected once a year to pay more into a game that I'm continuously enjoying if they're adding stuff to it. It's a matter of how much they're going to nickel and dime me.
Gotcha. Oh, Bungie did Oni back in the day. Okay. I don't know if they still own that. Did they own Oni, or is that Microsoft? Okay, yeah. Now, Destiny and Destiny 2, that's all they got. I'm looking at what they've come out with. That's it. Yeah. Destiny was 2014. Destiny 2 was 2017. And the only thing before that was Crimson Steam Pirates on iOS and Google Chrome in 2011. So they bought this for Destiny. Okay, and whatever the new franchise will be in the future. That's it.
Yep.
They can't make the big plays that Microsoft are doing for but they can just pick them up here and there, I guess. It's a much smaller impact versus obviously what Microsoft has just done.
Sure.
But there's people that like Destiny there that are probably like, oh no, it's gonna be exclusive, and I guess so. That's and people are saying it's obviously not. People are saying, oh, this is it's not. This wasn't a reaction. These things go in the works for months.
Oh yeah, the people who are like, look at Sony answered back. How long do you think it takes to fucking do this?
Hey, Mr. Bungie, we want to buy. That's not how it works.
Microsoft went and bought Activision, so now we want to buy you. Can we get this wrapped up in a week or so?
Yeah, what, they had a lunch meeting with Danishes and croissants on the table? Like they said, oh, we settle on a price. That's not how this stuff works.
The frost hasn't even melted off the Danish.
Well, I mean, not making fun of people not knowing how businesses work, but because obviously there can be conflicts. But like this,
I will a little bit. Okay. Just fucking think about it for a goddamn minute.
Talk down to them, Ian.
Think about it for a goddamn minute. Just think.
Billions of dollars at stake? You think they can't get it done in a week and a half? That's not how it works. It's like one guy make a decision. Okay,
I don't want you to come to a decision right now. Sleep on it for a night.
I'll give you the weekend.
Get back to me.
Think on the $3.6 billion. We'll talk on Monday. That's how it works.
God,
can you imagine if that's how it was? You had a weekend to decide for $3.6 billion. The whole company would be like, all right, I'm going to go mini golf.
Yeah.
Go out for some sushi and talk it over with my spouse.
Get a burger and a beer.
Hey, hon, you think that $3.6 billion? You think? Oh, yeah. No, that's not how this works. There's so many lawyers involved, and accountants and decision makers and board of directors meetings and this is high level shit. There's a whole series called Billions that looks fascinating. Paul Giamatti about like the high end business stuff and what goes on and the pressures and stuff. And I don't envy when you get to those decisions with that. I don't at all.